I'm not normally a watch wearer, but being a lover of anything tech, back when the LG G Watch came out, I had to have it. But again, I don't normally wear watches, so it spent most of its time not on my wrist. I also have an Apple Watch I try to remember to wear sometimes to remind me to stay active, but yet again, I forget to wear it. But for the last few weeks, I've actually been wearing a watch from when I wake up to when I go to bed, and that watch on my wrist is the Tozo S2. Don't worry if you've never heard of the Tozo brand, they're not super well known and especially not for their watches. Their earbuds have actually gained a little attention, but I can't really say anything about those because I've never tried them myself. But this watch really caught my interest when I saw it on Amazon for about $40. Not only is that a pretty good price for any smartwatch, this one actually had quite a few positive reviews, so you know I had to pick it up. When you first get it out of the box, it unsurprisingly looks a little Apple Watch inspired. That's not a bad thing, of course, just an observation. When you turn the watch on though, the Apple Watch illusion quickly disappears for the same reason any other cheap smartwatch can't pull off the Apple Watch look. As expected, the display on the Tozo watch is an LCD display, which means it can never reach a real black. So the background will always be more of a blue color, which shows the bezels all too clearly. And on the Tozo watch, for some reason, it appears as though the display is a little off center, which kind of drives me crazy, but it's probably not enough to bother most people. But what might drive some people away was the whole setup process. The first time I tried to turn it on, it just got stuck on the setup screen and wouldn't go anywhere. And there was no way to restart or reset it, so I just had to wait for the battery to fully drain to shut it off. Most people probably wouldn't have been that patient and would have immediately returned the watch, which I honestly was ready to do until it finally started working again. Continuing the setup, all you have to do is download the Tozo Fit app, and setup from there is actually mostly painless. Now this was the part of the video where I was going to talk about how bad the Tozo Fit app is, because last time I used it a year or two ago when I was reviewing another one of their watches, this app was a mess. But to my surprise, this app now actually works pretty well, for the most part anyway. The Tozo S2 is supposed to have Amazon Alexa integration, so you can ask Alexa questions from your watch. Pretty cool, right? Well, it would be if it actually worked. I tried to connect my Amazon account to the Tozo Fit app, but with no success. It constantly says it's not logged in, even though it shows up on my Alexa account. Another feature that I was excited to try but couldn't get it to work is the Find My Phone feature. If you lost your phone, you're supposed to be able to use the Find Phone feature on the watch, and it will ring your phone so that you can find it. But I guess, unsurprisingly, it does absolutely nothing. Just like this fake rotating crown on the side of the watch that is really nothing but a simple button. To be fair, it is nice to have a physical button, unlike the LG G Watch, which went too far with future tech and made it so that this tiny touchscreen was the only way to interact with the device. But why even design a rotating crown when a simple button would have worked just as well? We're not done with this stuff that doesn't work though. There are two more features that I'm gonna say half work and half don't. First is the weather app, which was immediately disappointing because it's really simple. You get the current temperature, the high and low temps, and weather predictions for just 2 days in the future. That's it. There's no way to see if or when there might be any kind of bad weather or any kind of details. This is by far the most simple weather app I've ever seen. Now some people might argue that's all you need on your wrist. Why would anyone need hour-by-hour weather predictions on a smartwatch? And you know what? Fair point. After all, this thing isn't a wearable weather station. But I think I should be able to expect the weather app to at least give me accurate information, right? Well, unfortunately, it doesn't. I honestly have no idea where this thing pulls weather from. They say it gets it from your phone's weather app, but I'm not sure what that means for Android users, since some Android phones like the Google Pixel don't even come with a weather app. So the watch always shows the incorrect weather, apparently from a different location. Another feature that seems kind of half-baked is the fitness tracking and music controls. I'm putting those two together because I only use the music controls when I'm tracking a workout, and it's kind of integrated in the fitness tracking app. First, the information the fitness tracker collects is very inconsistent, and sometimes it just pauses mid-workout. When you swipe over while tracking your workout, you get access to music controls, which work most of the time, but it doesn't show any information about the song that's playing, which is really annoying to me. If I just wanted music controls, I could just use the controls on my earbuds. Not a huge deal, just a little frustrating. Another weird quirk is how this watch handles notifications. You can look at a preview of notifications, which is usually good enough, but for the most part, there will be information left out, and more frustrating, this thing gets really confused by emojis. If someone sends you a message with an emoji in it, you won't be able to see the emoji, and sometimes you can't see the message at all because it confuses the watch so much. You also can't interact with the notification notifications in anyway. You get a preview and that's it. Also, from what I can tell, the watch can only show notifications from a few select apps, which, to be fair, pretty much covers everything anyone would ever want to see, but still something to keep in mind. Now for the good. I have never missed a notification on this watch. Other than the times the watch randomly disconnected from the phone, notifications on this watch from my experience are extremely reliable and come in a timely manner. How about those times when the watch disconnected from the phone though? Thankfully that doesn't seem to happen very often, but a couple of times during the weeks I was testing it, I would notice that it randomly would just stop working, and when I looked closer, I realized it wasn't connected to my phone. The frustrating thing is you really don't know until you realize the watch isn't working. There is a tiny Bluetooth icon that gets a little strike across it when it disconnects, but it's so small it's virtually unnoticeable unless you're looking for it. I think this is more of an issue with the app than the watch itself, because simply open the Tozo Fit app on your phone and the watch magically reconnects. And yes, the app has unrestricted battery usage, so I don't think it's my phone killing the app, although Android does seem to do some weird stuff with battery optimization sometimes. So for the sake of a complete review and the roughly 22% of people worldwide who use iPhones, I decided to run a second test to see what kind of Tozo experience iPhone users can expect. And actually, it was a little better. Not much, but at least Alexa worked most of the time. Tell me a joke. And the Find Phone feature worked as well. And the weather was still a bit off. I feel like it has a location set that for some reason you can't change. So it is the right weather, just not for where I am right now. So iPhone or Android, you'll get the same basic experience, which is not great. One thing that absolutely did impress me about this watch was the battery life. Depending on what features you use, this watch can easily give you a week or two without needing a recharge. It's safe to say you'll be pretty satisfied with the battery in this watch, but how useful really is that considering the rest of the watch? Sure, if you just need a watch to tell the time and kind of tell you when you have a notification on your phone, this will work just fine. But that's just it. I honestly don't trust the data it collects, and if it doesn't offer many useful features other than telling the time, I'd rather just go get a normal watch that I'd enjoy wearing and looking at. Either that or just save up some more money and buy a pre-owned Apple Watch or other trustworthy smartwatch. Basically, you get what you pay for. I'm not really disappointed in this watch because of its price, but I guess back in my mind somewhere, I was really just hoping this would punch above its price, but I can't really say that it does much more than I'd expect it to for $40. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.